everyone, it's Kailey here. Welcome back to my kitchen. Today, I will be making a homemade strawberry rhubarb pie with fresh rhubarb that I picked from my garden. Stay tuned to see how it turns out. First things first, preheat your oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, let's start off with our strawberry rhubarb filling. So first, you will need 3 cups of sliced rhubarb. So go ahead and add our rhubarb in. As you can see here, I've got frozen strawberries and I've allowed them to thaw, and those will work just fine. I will add about 2.5 to 3 cups of strawberries. Next, add a 1/3 cup of granulated sugar and a 1/3 cup of packed brown sugar. And add a 1/4 teaspoon of salt and 1 tablespoon of lemon juice. Also add 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla. Lastly, I will add a 1/4 cup of cornstarch. This step is super important because you want to make sure that your pie filling isn't runny. Okay, let's go ahead and stir it all together. Perfect, our strawberry rhubarb filling is nice and stirred. Oh, it also smells so good. Ooh, I'm so excited. Oh my gosh. I'm going to put our pie filling to the side while we work on our pie crust. So as you can see here, I've already got our pie dough rolled out. I made the pie dough last night and I stored it in the fridge. I've already lined our 9-inch glass pie dish with our bottom layer of our pie dough. And now it's time to work on the top pie crust. You can find the recipe for this pie dough below this video in the description section. So what I've got here is a piece of parchment paper that I cut out to be the same shape and size as the top of our pie dish. What I'm going to do next is use a butter knife to kind of outline and trace this parchment paper onto the dough below. Okay, let's peel that off and see. Perfect. As you can see, we've got that nice circle outline, so now we know where to put our design on the pie crust. So I've got a design in mind that I want to do using this cookie cutter here, and we'll see how it turns out. I'm kind of just gonna wing it along the way. So I don't know, let's just get creative with it. First off, my idea is I'm gonna use this ruler to kind of make sure things look, pretty good. 25, that's like, oh boy, 12 and a half. Okay, so the center is right here. To keep things kind of even, I'm going to use this distance here on my spatula to place my cookie cutter away from the edge. Okay, now that I've got our cookie cutter cutouts done in our top pie crust, I'm going to go ahead and fill our bottom pie crust with our pie filling. As you can see, our pie filling is very, very runny. So we definitely don't want all that liquid in our pie because that will just turn out really mucky in the end. So I will use this to go ahead and scoop that filling into the base of our pie crust. So I'm gonna shake it off, that way, I leave the fluid behind. That scooper wasn't working too great. It was still getting fluid into the bottom of my pie, and I don't want that. So I'm gonna switch to this tool here, which is like a mesh net, and that should really not allow any fluid to get into our pie. So I'm gonna go ahead and use this instead to scoop that filling in. Okay, so now that we've got our pie filling in our crust, I'm going to add dollops of butter all over the top of our filling, and that just adds some nice flavor when it's all done. Okay, so now I'm going to try to pick up the top of our pie crust to put it on our pie. So I've got parchment paper and my rolling pin. I'm gonna place that on top, go like this, and go like this. Okay, flowers, just stay like you are. Beautiful, yes. Okay, yeah, it's working. Flowers, work with me. Don't fall apart, yes. Okay, that works pretty good. Okay, I'm Don't drop, don't drop, don't drop. Oh boy, oh boy. Hey, we're good, we're good. Okay, now I want this bad boy centered. That's gonna be the tricky part, everyone. So we know it's like about an inch from the edge, right? So that's probably like that. Okay, who knows? I think that's pretty good though. I honestly think that's good. Like that. Let's try it there. We can always move it, I think. Okay guys, let's roll out that crust. Here we go. Whoop. Okay, okay. Wow. You know what? That looks so good. Okay. Oh, dang, one row. And it's also perfect because you need ventilation in the top pie crust to make sure that the steam comes out. So these holes will act as our ventilation process. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is flute the edges of our pie crust. So I do have some excess dough here. I'm just going to cut that off. So now it's time to fold under the edges of our pie crust. So I'm just going to kind of go like this around the rim. Very good. And now I'm going to flute our edges. So you're going to take this with your index finger and you're going to poke it in between like that and smush it up like that. Smush. So I've got these little flowers that I got from the cutouts earlier. I'm going to place them on the top of our pie crust just to add a little bit extra design. 'Cause why not? There we go. Okay, so now that our pie is nicely decorated, it's time to add the final touches. So here I've got some egg wash, and it's made of 1 egg whisked together with 1 tablespoon of milk. So I'm going to brush that egg wash all over the top of our pie, and that's going to give it that nice golden brown color when it bakes. I also want to get the rims if I can, so I'm just going to gently go around on the rims. Okay, and finally, we're going to add a sprinkle of sugar all over the top of our pie, and that will give it a nice sparkle at the end. Okay, now it's time to bake our pie. As I said earlier, I've preheated our oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. I will place our pie on a baking sheet and bake it at that temperature for 20 minutes. Then I will turn the temperature down to 350 degrees Fahrenheit and bake it for another 25 to 30 minutes. And then I'll check on it and see how it's going. Oh my gosh, looks good. Once your pie is out of the oven, let it cool on a cooling rack for 3 hours. Then it's ready to serve. And now to finish off our pie, it's time to top it off with some Kawartha Dairy vanilla ice cream. Oh my gosh, looks amazing. Here it goes. Oh my gosh, that is so good. Whew. Okay guys. If you want to see more videos like these, please don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. Thank you. Okay everyone, that's it for today. Thanks for watching Kailey's Kitchen, and I hope to see you again next time.